and welcome to another episode of Making Fun.
We're gonna build a robot!
It went like this. Here we were, in the movie theater. Critical Role.
Me doing this. Tavis was not watching any Critical Role. This had just been my entire outlet of everything for the past 6 months, but I didn't want to go to the series premiere at the movie theater by myself, so of course I dragged my brother along, like you do. Started introducing their characters. One of those characters that rolls out is Sam Riegel's robot, Fresh Cut Grass. It took about 6 seconds of the character art being on screen before Tavis leaned over to me and said,
"We have to make this. We're going to make this. I already know how we're gonna make this. We're making this."
and then he proceeded to spend the next 4 hours planning how we were gonna make this robot.
Making a robot has always been one of my childhood dreams, and now I finally, after all these years, get to build my very own robot.
Tavis is living out his childhood dream of building a robot, and I'm living out my childhood dream of having friends.
It's true, though.
They're my only friends.
Like and subscribe for her general emotional welfare.
I would like to say that at this exact moment, it looks like you're trying to summon him. And I love it.
I began by taking measurements from the character art so I could get his proportions correct. I then used that data to draw a 2-scale model. Having a scale model really helps the design process, as I am rendering most of his internal structure in the 3D software Tinkercad. Albeit frustrating, this was a very rewarding process. I got to create the frame of Fresh Cut Grass and watch the character take shape and come to life before my very eyes. Once again, you can see here how useful it is having a 2-scale model. What looked right in the 3D software didn't always print the way I'd intended.
Too tall, too narrow, too tall and narrow, too loose, but it's the better of the 3 because it actually goes on.
Okay, I have been printing and reprinting and designing and redesigning all of these parts. And I've got his cranial cavity where I like it. I gotta hot glue down this jaw coupling here. It's because once I glue this piece to the jaw is never coming off again. Hello, Marzipan. Thank you for joining us today on Making Fun. Once I glue this part down, that's it. There's no going back. And so that really scares me. And then I'm gonna do the same thing as well with his arm joint, which I have made with this acrylic tube, and then I 3D printed this little block that I could put this bolt and nut through. My plan is when the servo moves, it's gonna pull a cord which will raise his arm, and when the servo moves back, it will lower. And I'll have that set up on each side, so when one is pulling, they'll both get pulled at the same time. Where this jaw is when I glue it down is going to be very important as well. And I don't want his jaw to go further than that. So what I'm going to do is just come in here and mark it. So if this doesn't work and I need to move it, a little denatured alcohol on top of the hot glue will break the bond with the plastic and I can pull it right out. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more hot glue content. All right, let's get this on there. The spacers for his torso were too large, so rather than reprinting them, I just measured them and cut them with a back saw. And there he is, Fresh Cut Grass, with one servo in his head for the jaw, one servo in the torso area that controls both of the arms moving at the same time. Behold the majesty of Fresh Cut Grass.
What do you think about this, Rory?
Rory is a little startled right now because we have a new addition to the family.
There's the new addition to our family.
Hopefully only for a few more hours.
Yeah, hopefully for only a few more hours. But I spent a good mile chasing him.
I mean, I was driving for 15 minutes.
Nothing like waking up in the morning and having to run the Iditarod. Now that I have the puppet under potentiometer control, I want to continue building out the body. So I still need to build the unicycle component. And I am going to attempt to make him a wheel out of this craft foam, and I'm going to run this clear tube along the bottom and through the unicycle wheel so that I can run the wires through his wheel as well, but it'll still give the illusion of space. So I started building out his body using this foam, and then that's also going to give us something to actually anchor his skin to as well. So this is bulking him up very nicely and giving some support. It's going to be very important though that we build this and be mindful of being able to get in here in case anything goes wrong in the future. So I need to think about how I'm going to be able to put this in semi-permanently, but then be able to remove it as well.
Hi, I'm gonna jump in right here and tell you a tale of why you should back up your footage. This video was filmed, it was ready to go. It was 2 months of work, 13 hours of footage, 2 solid weeks of editing. I hit export on the computer and our hard drive burned out and we lost everything. So I had an existential crisis like you do, and then because we had also lost another 4 videos that I had filmed, I needed a break. So rather than just throwing in a voiceover that said I built his body and then painted him, I'm going to come in and explain to you guys what I did. FCG's body is made out of EVA foam. EVA foam is the most typical material that you see cosplay armor made out of these days. It is a great material, it cuts easily, it is very flexible, and you can heat mold it, which is really helpful when you want something to keep its shape. I used the 1/4 inch EVA foam to make the majority of his body and then used the thin EVA craft foam to make a lot of the details on him. He is literally held together with hot glue and my prayers to the gods of Exandria.
That is looking so good.
But the best part.
The best part is that, yeah. That is fantastic.
Oh my god, if this robot dies, it's gonna destroy me. It's gonna ruin my life if this robot dies.
Jinx send Max to space. Jinx send Max to space.
His hands are made out of the same EVA foam and masking tape molds that we took of my fingers. His wheel is made out of a big piece of XPS foam that I carved down into shape, stuck through with toothpicks, and then molded out using foam clay. The base of the unicycle is also entirely made out of EVA foam and toothpicks. After he was fully built, I prepped the foam with the heat gun and then plasti dipped him. Once the plasti dip was dry, I put a base coat of spray paint on him and then spent the next week painting him. This took a lot of layers of acrylic paint. Going from black to yellow is an intense process. Painting for me is a study in patience, which I am not great at, and it's something I'm working on more and more, so yeah. Then I painted him yellow and blue and shiny and metallic, and that was it. It doesn't sound like a lot when I put it into a couple of sentences, but trust me, it was a lot of work. And with that, we can go on to final shots. help but giggle every time I see him. He just makes me so happy.
Yeah, he's pretty wonderful.
He is.
For the next iteration of this build, I would love to put some speakers behind his eyes and actually play the sound clips of Sam Riegel performing the character. Stay tuned for more Critical Role content.
And just Dungeons and Dragons content in general, because it's all I can think about anymore.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Making Fun. Please consider subscribing.
Smiley day! We got called twins again, though.
Yes.
So we are gonna have to cosplay them at some point.
No, the bad turtle dragon. I will not play with you. You are very rude, turtle dragon.
I'm making myself a wife.
6 seconds into the character art being on the screen before Tavis said...
Sorry. Before Tavis said... Oh, sorry.
You say that!
Are you making fun of me, Marzipan? Watch out, that's hot. Honey, that's... Okay. Meow.
Go backwards and explain what we're doing. Let me backpedal.
This is the backpedaling.
This is the backpedal hand motion.
Okay, I'll just drink my tea.
Wally.
Uh-huh. You want to do the intro for us? Alright. Take it away, Marzi.
This is Marzipan. If you haven't met her before,
This is Marzipan.
This is-
And if you have met her before...
still Marzipan.
Still Marzipan.
I need some more tea.
Davis left me. He's gone too far away. I can't function anymore.
We have a very strange relationship.
Wonder Twin powers activate!
Form of competent adult.
That'd be great. We need a grown-up. We don't have a grown-up. We don't want a grown-up, but we need a grown-up.
Uh-oh. No, we don't want to just scare away the not Critical Role people as well by talking too much about Critical Role, so... You will enjoy this, whether or not you...
Excuse me. You just made a statement about my entire existence. It's my new hyperfixation.
If there were people in our lives to scare away, perhaps.
They're my only friends. If it weren't for disassociation, I wouldn't have any association.